What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Josh and Casey React. We are not here for a very special movie reaction. We are doing something a little different today. Josh and I often have, a lot of thoughts about, just the current state of the movie world in general and the media world that we can't really include in all of our movie reactions because we, like to stick to the movies and the context there. And so we're trying something out. We're doing kind of like a little mini podcast thing. Josh, you want to throw some details in here?
Yeah, we would love to get your feedback on this. Let us know what you guys think in the comments if this is something you guys would like us to continue going forward. We're going to try to keep it short and sweet for our first episode just to see what kind of traction we can get. But yeah, we would greatly appreciate it. If you guys have topics you'd like us to talk about, please be sure to comment that as well. If you have more that you'd like us to go into, we'd be happy to do more episodes, get more in depth in the future. But again, this is kind of a trial run for us just to talk about, current state of cinema as things stand. So we appreciate all you guys being here to check this out. And I say let's just jump into the first topic. You brought this up if you want to get into it.
Yeah, I read this morning for folks that read Morning Brew. They'll see this as well. And it was that it's a very scary year for cinema. It says that horror movies are on track to claim a record share of the annual U.S. box office. So far, they account for 14% of ticket sales, breaking the previous record high of 12.9% in 2021 from Halloween and A Quiet Place 2 when those came out. So just some more analysis. Sinners is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. There's another new movie called Weapons, which I'm looking to see. I've heard that was very good.
Yeah.
And that movie garnered $42.5 million in its opening weekend for number one at the box office. So just my initial thoughts when hearing this, it definitely resonated. I do feel like there's a lot of horror movie fans out there. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's a lot of variety in the horror genre today. Like we had that other movie come out. What was it about that clown? Like that Thrasher movie?
Terrifier,
yes. Which is like old school slasher, like violent, but it garnered a lot of attention.
I heard because I heard it was really brutal. That's not my cup of tea personally, but I heard people who saw it said it was like exceptionally brutal.
That's what I heard, but you have that, and then you have movies, like Sinners, which I've heard you saw it.
I did see Sinners.
I've heard it was more of like a thriller, mystery genre kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have some different thoughts on it. The only reason I don't want to get too much into it, maybe we'll react to it. It was basically, I liked it, but I just felt like it was kind of a ripoff of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay.
I mean, it was basically beat for beat a lot of the same movie. Granted, it was extremely well shot, well acted, so I have no complaints there. But yeah, that was my main issue with it. But it was still an enjoyable movie nonetheless.
Yeah, but I'm just, from what I've heard, very different. There's a lot of variety going on in the horror scene, which is what I was thinking. And I also think what's going on is that there's just a lot more creativity being done in the horror industry. I feel like people are willing to take more chances and, trying to think about what scares people, right? Especially today, modern day, it's changing. And it's not just the old school, ghosts standing on the wall or, jump scares and zombies. Like there's actually a lot of thought and psychology that goes into this. I remember we talked about on the last episode, Hereditary, when that came out.
I was going to say,
how much of a craze that caused. And even movies like A Quiet Place, which, a fresh take of, no dialogue whatsoever, barely any dialogue in the movie, completely ads. I remember when Bird Box came out, that was a good one.
Was that a horror movie, though?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Was that with Sandra Bullock?
Yes.
I'm thinking, okay. Oh, yeah, it's been so long since I've seen that, but yes, I do remember that one now.
Yes. And then there's the likes of, like Jordan Peele, who's coming out, with more like a thriller type, but some people will call it horror. There's just a lot of stuff out there, and I think people are taking a lot of chances that I know we always complain about is not being done in kind of mainstream Hollywood.
Yeah,
where it's a lot of the bread and butter of regular movies.
Yeah, I do feel like horror movies, I mean, there's a couple different reasons, right? Number one, I would say probably more likely because Hollywood's a business is they can usually be made for pretty cheap in comparison, which is funny. You and I just reacted to the way back. We found out in our Patreon analysis that it was only $5 million to make that movie, and it grossed, I think, like $26 million. This was back in 2013. But for some reason, people aren't as willing, or Hollywood's not as willing today to take those kind of chances, even still on an indie movie, which I find strange. But for horror, it's like the one genre where that's more or less okay.
Right.
I mean, not to say, like, I don't know how much, we should look up maybe how much some of these are costing, but I would bet you they're not nearly as much as, like, not even close to any, like, big Marvel movie or anything. Yeah, nothing like that. And yeah, there's definitely much more diversity. And a lot of the horror movies have been coming out. So like Ari Aster, who did Hereditary, also did, if you saw, what is the Swedish one?
Oh, Midsummer?
Midsummer.
I remember that one. That was stuck in my brain.
That was a disturbing, very disturbing movie. But yeah, like they're getting creative. Jordan Peele has his own kind of take on the horror movie. You have like horror comedy, like, you know, well, scary movie, although I guess I don't know if I would throw that in
at this point, but yeah.
They're making another one. They got Scary Movie, I think 5 is coming out soon, which we'll see, you know. But you know, they take more chances, I think, in the horror world, and that I would say and also they just perform well historically. I mean, that's like the one genre that continues to dominate. Like, people love to be scared.
They do.
So, I think it's just like an adrenaline rush, right? Like, you go in, you're with your friends, and yeah, I mean, occasionally you get a cheap jump scare, but like, it's enough to be. We're so what's the word I'm looking for? We're so like apathetic today. We're so just immersed in our phones and our tech. Like, we just need something to make us feel anything. Right. I mean, I might be looking too much into that. No, but it's just a hypothesis.
No, I was going to say something like that, is that there's such a lack of movies that make us feel anymore. We talked about that in the way back, and some of the others all about Eve. Just like the movies, I don't know, they feel bland, man. Most of them they don't make you feel, you know, good, energetic. I think the last time I saw F1 recently. I know you saw it. That one, you know, a lot of excitement and energy in that movie that really felt. That was like one of the few times within the last year, I think, where I was at the movie theater and I thought, wow, I'm getting really good. This is a quality movie experience. It's really moving me in a certain direction. And you're right with horror, is that I feel like there is like, I don't know about horror fans, but I feel like there's very few horror movies I'd watch where I don't come out kind of affected by it, unless it's like really bad. Like, I remember there was I don't know if you saw these commercials. There was one where they were just spamming commercials on it all time. It was called A Woman in the Yard, I think. And it was such a simple premise. It was literally just these family lives on a farm, and this creepy woman shows up in their yard, and they don't leave the house, and they're trying to figure out what.
That is kind of a brilliant, like, simplistic concept.
It's so simple, and I was like, shit, I kind of want to figure out what this woman in the yard is doing and why she's so creepy.
Like, yeah, you know what? Now that I think, there's been some weird ones. Like, there was, what's her name from, we watched her in the movie about the women at NASA.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Mama.
Hidden Figures. Yes,
or something, Mother.
Yeah.
Mama,
it was, that's part of the, I think that's part of the Insidious franchise.
Yes, and then and then you also have the Paranormal Activity movies, which that's its own genre. You got the Saw movies, which I've only seen, I think, like the first one. Again, not my cup of tea typically, but it is kind of like a strange concept of, like, I don't know if you know anything about them, the idea of taking criminals and people who've committed heinous crimes. Not always, some of them were a little measly, and you put them in these horrible circumstances. But just kind of asking yourself those questions. So they do make you think. And then, of course, you just have the basic, like, slasher, which is what Terrifier is. I mean, that's all shock value. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work being done. I actually do have a comment, and I think this could be a topic of discussion I want to get into after this. So, I mean, I don't have a ton to say on the horror stuff. I'd just be curious to look up how much these movies are costing just to see if it lines up.
Terrifier, I know, had a very small budget, and they did very well.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, they got by on, scare tactic or just brutal gore.
I could look up...
like, what is this one's called? Weapons? So let's see. Weapons budgets. This might give me the Pentagon numbers. It's not what I'm looking for. Weapons movie budgets. Yeah, modest $38 million, which I'm pretty sure the average movie today costs $50 million, which is crazy. And yeah, meaning the movie needs to make 90 to 100 million at the global box office to break even. And what is it at currently?
Oh my God. Yeah, here, like, look at these. So I
42 million opening weekend. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
I asked Chad to give me a table of everything that came out this year, but for horror movies, budget and gross. Sinners budget 90 million, which again kind of expensive, but they had what's his name, Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
360 million gross worldwide.
Not
Final
bad.
Destination Bloodlines, which looked like probably the worst movie I've ever seen. It looked horrible. It looked like a high school project of like a horror movie. I remember they just like come up with these ridiculous things there's some like predestination BS. Like some guy like tripped and fell into a lawnmower.
So I've been in physical therapy. My PT was telling me the plot lines, and if I remember this correctly, I think it takes place in the Seattle. What is it? The tower up there.
Oh, does it?
And it's like some guy lets a penny go, and it gets into the duct, and like the whole place goes up in flames.
That's hilarious.
I might have this wrong. What is the movie called again?
Final Destination Bloodlines.
Bloodlines.
Yeah, but like Megan 2.0, which looked like complete garbage.
That looked horrible.
25 million. Grossed 40. Weapons is already doubled its budget. So
yeah, I think it was the penny.
Yeah, like
we don't have to.
Who's watching this movie? I'm sorry. Like maybe if you're a big
People
Final
want something
Destination
to see.
fan,
yeah, I think that's what it is.
280 million is just crazy for that movie. That is just insane.
Well, to me, that shows that there's a hunger for this kind of stuff, but I can't wrap my head around why Hollywood refuses still remove horror from this, but just for dramas or anything. Like the fact that the way back with that huge cast was able to be done for $5 million, you're telling me that couldn't be replicated and still made money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess just horror is more universally consistent in terms of like how well they track.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously Final Destination, but that's a huge franchise at this point. So that's been around for a while, but even still, like these random Terrifier or whatever we want it to be, just pop up and do insanely well. My favorite horror movie story ever, and anyone in the indie film world knows this one, is Alex, I forget his last name. Anyway, he did a movie.
A24 guy?
Is it out? No, I don't think it's Alex Garland. I'll have to look it up. Anyways, he did a movie, a short film called Lights Out on YouTube. And you could probably watch it. It's like 2 minutes. It's super bare bones, looks like a high school project. But it is intensely creepy. Basically, the concept of woman's trying to hide with the lights on, but that's not enough. And so did super well on YouTube, ended up getting picked up, and it got turned into a feature film. And now he's gone on to have a pretty lucrative career. But it all started with a basic horror movie.
David Sandberg,
That's who it was, yes. It's David Sandberg. I think he's a Swedish director.
Yeah, I mean, I like people taking chances. I don't have much else. Should we try to move on?
All right, so you brought up F1. I just want to touch on this quickly. So I forgot, I watch a lot of filmography stuff on YouTube, and a lot of the colorists have been talking about this, and I think it's such an interesting concept. And so this is the only complaints I really had about F1, and it's not just F1, a lot of modern movies. They don't have any look to them anymore. If you watch early 2000s called Pirates or Seven, we talked about that a lot, a lot of contrast, heavy shadow, but a lot of good use of the color orange or red. Everything is very well placed. If you watch F1, the color grading, it looks like it was just it doesn't have a cinematic look to it. It just, a lot of cameras now, they shoot what's called RAW, which if for people that don't know what it looks kind of like a grayscale. And the concept is when you're shooting digitally, it allows you to have the most information to work with from a color grading standpoint. For some reason, it almost seems to have transferred over where a lot of movies nowadays don't have a really good look or feel to them. So the guy in the video, I forget his name. I'll have to Quasi, I think, or something like that. Anyways, he talks about Man of Steel versus the new Superman movie, and he puts up stills side by side. And I'm sure I could probably pull it up and so you guys can see what I'm talking about. If you look at the way each of the films look, it's at least a commitment to some sort of style.
Man of Steel, I know immediately what you're talking about. There is that that kind of gray tone, darker. It matched the feel of the movie. It was darker. That it wasn't a regular bright and happy superhero film like the old ones that had the bright yellow, and the blue.
So I haven't seen the new Superman movie, but I did see the stills, and that was my complaint. Like, the costume almost looks kind of cheesy because of it. Like, it's just very... I'm trying to find, like, actual movie still. Probably not the trailer.
Maybe like that one on the left?
Yeah, I think it was more... This is more what I was going for.
Yeah, you're right. Like, this looks like a Chicago Med, like
like a CW TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
And it shouldn't be. Like, I know a lot of people like the movie, so this isn't a slight necessarily against the movie itself, because again, I haven't seen it. But yeah, if we're comparing the two, at least one is a more of a commitment. Oh, actually, it looks like someone tried tweaking it to give them a tan. But yeah, it's... I do appreciate just the general, and the lighting too. Like, that's the other thing. Marvel does this, and I think they kind of kickstarted it. Very flat, not a lot of contrast, not a lot of shadow. So I mean, even with our own setup here, right? Like, the whole concept is you ideally want to create a little bit of shadow on the face, add some mystery. If you add some filler, but like, yeah, everything in the shot is very flat, and I mean, it's a choice. But in my opinion, it's not very stylized, and I kind of miss that old era of like really committing to a look.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Denis Villeneuve before this. I thought of Dune 2 immediately.
For sure.
Excellent color grading on that movie. I mean, some of the color choices in shots, like just the orange tone when they switch to the black and white for the gladiator scene, fantastic. Yeah, there is really not a lot of kind of unique tastes. And I think that actually also brings back to like the horror genre, because there's so many more dark shots, and there's a lot of creativity that you can go in with that about how to light it and how to color it properly. Do you go straight black? Do you go all dark? Do you try to make it more of like a blue hue to show certain details or not?
Right.
There's a lot you can do there versus, like with Superman, yeah, it's pretty plain white bread. It's Superman. We've had so many installments of this. Like, how are they keep releasing these movies? I don't know. So, and even old Marvel, they had so much more variety in that. I think of like the original Guardians. I think of the original Avengers that had some darkness to it.
How about just go back to the first Spider-Man movie?
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, so he's also a horror director. He made The Evil Dead, which is one of the most famous horror franchises ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that has some super dark. So it's funny, I actually rewatched not too long ago the second Spider-Man movie, and one of the scenes that haunted me as a kid that does have very horror-esque elements, if you remember when Doc Ock
yes.
is he's on the operating table and they're trying to remove his tentacles.
Oh, yeah.
And like, the tentacles start attacking everyone, and yeah, I mean, that's a horrifying scene just as a kid, even though there's no blood or anything. It's a lot of those kind of elements. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on this subject because I did think it's an interesting point that you don't hear about a lot, but I have been noticing that in a lot more films that they do seem to be degrading in terms of like its cinematic quality. The last movie outside of Dune that I can also recall, which you and I both love, is The Batman.
Yes.
That had a very stylized look and looked absolutely incredible.
It really brings you into the movie when there's like a look and a feel to it. It's also kind of it separates it from reality to show you're in like, all right, we're in the movie now. I could tell,
right?
I'm really locked in. And yeah, there's just not enough. People just start with the story and the script. And I think that styling is kind of missing in a lot of movies.
Yeah, well, even the script, I mean, that's a whole other subject to get into.
Well, I heard Sinners. I mean, how was Sinners? I heard that it looked pretty good. Like, it had a pretty unique feel to it.
It did, but as I said, actually, okay, yeah, so Sinners, cinematically wise, looked amazing.
Yes.
It looked incredible. Acting was good, but as I just said, that's actually the opposite problem.
Right,
where
the script.
The script was good. It just was kind of, in my opinion, a beat-for-beat remake of From Dusk Till Dawn. And I know I have heard that even From Dusk Till Dawn was also a remake of what I heard was a crappier movie. But regardless,
we'll
just something original. But that's a topic for another day.
All right.
You wanted to talk, because this is an important subject, especially now with South Park, about Paramounts and all the stuff they've been doing.
So yeah, Paramount, I'm sure you guys have made some big moves recently. Let me just pull up my details from chat. Big merger with Skydance.
I mean, we were just looking up to all the movies that Skydance has produced. I mean, we got, a lot of Tom Cruise, Jack Reacher, the Tomorrow War, all the new Star Trek, True Grit, World War Z,
Mission Impossible franchise, which I heard they're going to revamp now.
Oh, really?
That Cruise is done with this merger, so I think they're going to try and restart the series maybe with someone without Tom Cruise.
No, I mean,
bound to happen.
It is, but like give us some time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. I loved Annihilation, by the way. That's a fantastic movie. We should watch that. Annihilation.
Oh, I saw that one.
It's another Alex Garland movie.
Okay.
Yeah, great movie. So yeah, just for the details, right? $8 billion merger completed last week from Skydance with Paramount Global. Skydance also has a lot of good IP.
Yeah.
David Ellison is now the CEO. His capital company, Redbird Capital, or Jeff, whatever. They injected $1.5 billion to make some new moves. Part of which, right, is South Park acquisition for, I think it's the next 4 years.
Okay.
For $1.5 billion for 5 years. Think about that, $300 million a year for South Park. And the other side of that is awesome. This new UFC deal, which is $7.7 billion for 7 years. And the big piece of that is there's no more pay-per-view UFC events. It's all included in Paramount, which is, I think, huge for the sport. I'm not going to get too into the UFC side since this is about
Dana
movies.
White's cleaning up.
But just South Park, right? I mean, how long has South Park been going on for? When did South Park first come out?
Let's look it up, shall we?
I'm sure if you guys have not seen the new South Park, do yourself a favor and go watch it. I'm still behind on the last 2 new episodes. I watched the first one and it was just immediately thrilled.
97, August 13th.
Yeah. I mean, think about that. Like, it's, like longer than I've been alive.
Yeah. It's
been running like culture. It's been on beat culture like since the beginning. They've been on beat for culture. They've beaten out the likes of every other show, of the Family Guy, of the Simpsons, of all that stuff for staying relevant. And credit to Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who are now billionaires, which is just crazy to believe.
It's got to be such a fun job too.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine? I mean, I don't know if they've done many interviews or if they've done like much behind the scenes, but I would love to watch more of just like how those shows get made. Just have to sit and consume content all day and see like what the cultural zeitgeist is, and then just like narrow in on those concepts in a humorous way. I would assume they have to have a writing staff, don't they?
I'm sure. Yes, they do have a staff that helps them, but they're the idea guys. And just like, just the first episode, it caused such a social turmoil.
Even it took me for a ride. I wasn't expecting it to go that hard. And
yes.
I think my favorite part, I mean, spoiler alert for those that haven't watched it, the final ad that they have to start doing now for Trump, which by the way, was that AI? I didn't know.
Oh, the guy, they said it was a real actor.
Oh,
like
it was?
The guy, yes. Yes.
Because it looked like AI, didn't it?
It
like
did.
When he's crawling through the desert.
I think his face is AI, but it's like a real, the fatness of the guy is real. Like it's a real guy.
The fatness is real, okay. Yeah, that to me was so great. And then I forget what the tagline was at the end.
Oh, it was
so funny.
Can we watch like the end? No, we're gonna get kicked off.
We'll for sure get
it. I loved like Trump. He like cozying up to Satan, and he's like got the blabbermouth. And he's like, "Yeah, calm down, guy. It's all good." And then like talking about the Epstein files.
Yeah.
It's just it's a showcase of how to like you said, the feel of the public.
Sure.
Something that the movie business is not doing, right? Like we talked about. The poor showing of comedies recently. Haven't been any good comedies. I know Happy Gilmore 2 just came out.
I was going to say, well, we're about to watch the Naked Gun.
Yes.
Which you said you haven't seen.
I have not.
I watched the new one in theaters,
yes.
But we are going to be reacting to it when it comes out. And I actually was pleasantly surprised. There were elements that, like, especially the last third, I'd say was like, all right, you're pulling at strings here, but I was surprised. Like I did laugh a decent amount, so I was happy to see that comedies have at least started to attempt to make a comeback. Even though, like, Happy Gilmore 2, like Adam Sandler, his later year stuff hasn't been too great, but it's at least an attempt, right? So I appreciate the effort.
I mean, even then, it's not, both of those are not new IP.
No,
so
not at all.
I'd like to see someone take a chance. And there's so much opportunity. I mean, the amount of stuff South Park is hitting on nowadays where there's so much opportunity to just make a funny movie about something with tech. I mean, they go into VR and the guys get locked in VR and fall asleep in their chairs and think they're, locked in. And they're thinking it's an alternate universe. Like the one Randy was like, talking to his AI chat bot on his phone in bed while his wife is like sitting right
I saw
there.
That one.
He's like, "I love you, honey." She's like, "I love you too, Randy. You're such a strong man." His wife is just pissed off. Like, there's so much opportunity for this stuff, but no one wants to take a jab at it because it's all going after.
Speaking of which, going way back now to our horror movie conversation, my favorite episode ever is still the Human Centipede episode.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, hilarious.
The cuttlefish, asparagus, or vanilla paste.
Oh, man. So good.
Yes. I mean, yeah, they're fantastic, but I think the big problem with Hollywood too right now is just, I mean, it's not just Hollywood, it's a problem with corporate America as well, as you have a lot of the suits running the show, and the suits don't necessarily know what's good for the cultural zeitgeist, and they're probably not as in tune. I mean, I still feel like we're somewhat in an era of cultural sensitivity. I mean, the walls are starting to break a little bit, but it seems that within Hollywood, those walls are still pretty strong at the moment. Well, so I think it's going to take a bit of time, unfortunately.
Well, this is one of my points that I wanted to bring this up with, is this is a big strike against that kind of suits cultural sensitivity thing. I mean, I couldn't think of two things against cultural sensitivity more than South Park and the UFC,
right?
Like combined into two, and to shell out like, you know, almost a $10 billion bet between the two of them for the next 5 years. Like, this is the future, you know, it's the future of their company
for sure,
that they're throwing into two products, and specifically UFC making it non-pay-per-view, I think is going to be huge for the business and drive tons of new fans just to Paramount. I mean, just these two things, right, for like a $9 a month Paramount subscription, I would pay for it just for these two things alone.
Yeah.
Honestly, even just for South Park, just to have all the rights to South Park, because it's hilarious. It's hilarious, and that's, I think, one of the things that these streaming companies are gearing towards is finding any existing IP that people really love, and just snatching and saying, okay, I got this one show, like, I think I can get people just by having The Office. You know, that was like Peacock, they had The Office and they thought it was going to be big. I don't think it was that big of a choice, but doing these two things at once, I think, is a big signal to the streaming industry overall, and how to get people onto your platform immediately and get people off others. Like, now you're off ESPN Plus, whatever. You may lose your Disney subscription if you were just sticking there for.
Well, I heard Disney's not doing very well.
Right, but if you were just there for ESPN Plus for UFC, now you're gone. Now you're on Paramount and you're there full time. There's no more Disney subscription.
Well, I'd actually heard, I want to look up what the percentage is, that a lot of Netflix's pricing model depends on shows like Friends, for instance, where, I mean, so many people still to this day will just have Friends running in the background, you know, doing work or things like that. And actually, a lot of their money is made because of that.
Right.
Their old IP, not the new stuff. Most of the Netflix original series, or at least movies for sure, are not that good, in my opinion. They're pretty rough.
They're very rare that I think that a few things will capture. I think of Black Mirror.
Yep.
I think of, what's that new Apple original that I just watched, in The Office?
Severance.
Severance. There's a few things that capture public attention, maybe for a short time.
Difference is, though, Apple doesn't need its streaming service like Netflix does.
But they obviously want to build it out.
They want to build it, but I think they're trying, it's very clear to me that they're trying to do like what HBO did and build like a niche, like more artistic, like highbrow
IP,
type of IP, versus Netflix is like, if you got it, we'll throw it on our platform.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of a deal.
They are amassing just so much quantity, and honestly, it's making it kind of difficult to try and find like good stuff I want to stream on Netflix, because there's just so much stuff to sort through.
I'd say, if anything, also too, I would imagine the reality shows are probably selling it, like Love
Netflix.
Island. And
all my
that.
God, every woman I talk to is just, in love.
I don't get the appeal, but
whatever.
You know,
people out there in our comments tell us why Love Island is the most popular show out there. There's also an island show for everything now. I thought my friend told me about a divorce island.
Divorcee
Island. Like, you know, there's
nothing will beat MILF Manor.
Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah.
Like,
Great
there's just everything.
Well, that's what is it? TLC,
TLC,
right?
Know.
MILF Manor and Love on the Spectrum, I think, are both TLC.
Anyway, yeah, but like something, you know, where I go on HBO, I know they're gonna have a more limited thing, but their quality, I think, is more top notch. Like, oh, that's a great movie. That's a great movie.
We're about to find out with them, because they're doing the Harry Potter show.
Yeah. Oh, true.
And so that to me is either going to make or break them. I mean, they had, obviously, which it's kind of funny. First off, they're not even HBO anymore, which is so stupid. They're just Max.
Stupid.
Anyways, but yeah, I mean, this Harry Potter show, I mean, that's a huge IP, and I have a feeling it'll do well just because of, the IP itself. The question is, will it be good though, and will people stick around? I don't know. It's hard to say. I think people will, just again because Harry Potter hasn't been as relevant recently, so I'm sure people are going to be thrilled to have it come back, especially they're going to be touching on the old movie form instead of the follow-ups with like the Cursed Child and what were the movies called? The Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, yeah.
I never watched those. No. I wasn't too much
I heard they weren't great, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about them.
No. Yeah, I don't have much more on this topic, just that I think Paramount's making a fantastic bet right now, and a streaming service to watch that I feel like people had on their on the low end beforehand.
Yeah. There's also, which is interesting, they have Nobody 2 coming out this week.
Right.
Which, did you like the first one?
I did. Not so much that I recall it constantly and that, like, oh, Nobody, that was a great movie. Just that it was like fun, quick action, gritty.
Right.
You know what you're getting into kind of movie. Honestly, the new trailer looked kind of like when I'm watching it, like the concept, it looked like more silly than anything. Like obviously the action is still good, and I really liked Bob Odenkirk in that role in the beginning. But it seemed just like less serious and more kind of like a silly, almost like a Jason Statham-y level kind of action movie.
Well, again, I kind of blame Marvel for that because they really kickstarted it with, I would say, like, I think which one? Thor Ragnarok was Taika Waititi was like the first one to really introduce that concept of like, let's make it silly. And it worked for that movie, but they kept trying to recreate it. And eventually it just got trite and tiring. And I think now, clearly, like with Nobody 2, if that's going to be the case, it can work, but you have to do it in small doses. And I think the other problem with Nobody 2, and my hunch is that it's not reinvent. They're trying to.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same exact concept. They're not doing anything different. I mean,
yeah, and it's not like there's. Sorry for cutting you off, but it's not like there was a cliffhanger at the end of Nobody where I was like, I really need to see the second one. Like he's going on a family vacation. The guys follow him. Like I already know the whole story. He's gonna save the family, whatever. So. Yeah, I don't think there's nothing drawing me to this, like at least with the John Wick franchise.
It's so funny. I was literally about to say John Wick. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like there was the story progression there, and there's such a unique world and feel to that that you wanted to go back into it no matter what the story is, just to see what's new and how it progresses. I didn't catch Ballerina, by the way. I don't know if you did.
Yes, I did watch it. Well, I'll just say first on the John Wick point, just quickly, even if the story doesn't necessarily progress, they have such a unique market for action.
Yes.
And every movie, it just, I still don't know how they do it, but they level up every time. And it's getting a little ridiculous now, but it's at least still like, there's something new every time to expect versus obviously like with Nobody 2, it kind of seems like you just said maybe a little funnier, but like same kind of gags, same kind of fight scenes. They're not doing anything different. My only issue with Ballerina 2, and I don't think I've ever said this for a movie ever, but this one I will, it was almost too much action.
I was going to say that about the newer the last John Wick movie. Like they did the trilogy and I'm kind of like, all right, guys, like it was really cool what you did, but now it's time to give us a break.
Yeah.
Like even it's the same thing with Fast and Furious. Like we had the cars, we had everything. Like now it's taking it way too far.
Right.
And of course they have to, like you said, they try to up the action every time, but there's a certain point where you can't up the action anymore.
Right.
Like you hit a peak and you did something really good. You made a multi-billion-dollar franchise, one of the most famous action franchises in history. You know, let it go, let it breathe a little bit. And I don't know, maybe go do a spin-off TV show or something. But
well, I think it was just with the last one for me, I think it was close to 3 hours. It was just too long. And also like they had the bulletproof suits, which it's kind of a cool concept, but now it's like, it's just a ding. Like it just
like puts it above his.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just,
like, come on.
But I will say the last sequence, like in Paris was awesome.
Yeah.
Like the scene where all the cars are going around the Triomphe, the Arc de Triomphe, and, you know, they're getting out and like people are getting run over. Like to choreograph, that was so cool to watch. And then like the whole stair sequence. So I might have enjoyed it more than you did. But my issue with Ballerina, I think too, was also she's a 5'5", 120-pound woman. Like, I can believe a little bit of ass kicking, but I mean, I think she took down more movies or more people than John did. Like, it was just too much.
Yeah, fair.
So I don't know, but that's again a topic in itself.
Yeah, I think that, right, like John Wick has that feel to it, and I hope movies don't just think that they can, get like a good action director and like put a lazy script together and just start cranking out like a bad script, but okay shot but good action movies, because I think that's going to get tired really quickly.
I think as long as it's done in spurts, like for instance, one of my actually like guilty pleasure movies is The Transporter with Jason Statham. There's just like, I don't mind it, but it's a fun movie.
Right.
So it's just him in I think probably somewhere in the south of south of France. He gets the hot chick. Like, there's some random action sequences, but I think it's just the locale with his charm. Like, it just worked for that. So I don't mind it occasionally, but I would say it was still like well done enough to where it was a rewatchable movie for me. I think you have to really nail the action. And it has to be semi-believable, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people are just going to go see it because the love for Bob Odenkirk is so high, which is to all his credit. I mean, I heard Better Call Saul was outstanding. So I think it'll do okay, but I don't have high hopes.
And something else that you brought up, and I know we were going to touch on this anyways, you were talking about, like, the appeal of movies beyond, the year they come out. So like how much cultural relevance do they have? I've heard, I believe it was a Critical Drinker who was talking about this. So we're going to talk about, they have the new Tron and Avatar movies coming out. And it's funny, I never quite thought about it until you mentioned it. With Avatar specifically, they come out, they make like $2 billion. There is zero cultural relevancy with those movies beyond like just those like first couple weekends.
The first movie I thought had a ton of cultural relevance.
Maybe because it was the animation and like I remember every single Best Buy had Avatar playing to show off their like 3D capability, their high definition. But like even the last one, I don't ever remember anyone talking about it beyond like the 2 weeks after it came out.
No, I think they made. I mean, we could probably just move into these new movies because I think there's a theme here in waiting too long. Like for both of the IP, with the other movie is Tron that we're talking about, Tron Ares. Yeah. One, I think casting Jared Leto is a horrible, horrible mistake.
But he did. Didn't he win an Oscar for what was it? The drug movie.
Look it up. But anyway, so I mean, Avatar 1, I think had what time? We have a time that we're at, by the way. I don't want to keep people here insanely long, but
I actually don't know how long we've been going for.
Let me check.
A second. Oh, we've been going for 37 minutes.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Time flies when we're having fun.
Well, we can maybe end on this one, just this topic.
Okay.
So the new
Requiem for a Dream, by the way.
That's I need to watch that movie. That's on my list. I've heard it is probably the most depressing movie that was ever made, besides some of the obvious Grave of the Fireflies.
That was his big claim to fame, at least from an acting standpoint.
Sure. I mean, that was also a while ago, but he's, from what I've seen him recently.
Yeah, I know Joker and all. Yeah.
But anyway, so Avatar 1 was a cultural moment for me. I thought that was my favorite movie for like all of childhood. I thought that was completely revolutionary idea. The world building, incredible, and the animation for like 2008.
Was that when it came out?
Yes. Yeah. Look at it. Double check for me.
That's
real
crazy
quick.
That it was made that long ago. Yeah, or 09.
2009.
Okay.
I mean, the animation for that level, like that felt like we were moving into the future.
Yeah.
With what could be produced. And also, we're getting into like the space race and different not space race, but like space is becoming a lot more relevant. Like sci-fi is becoming a lot more relevant. And it was just a great, the whole world building of it really brought me in. And I absolutely loved it. And I think it was a big cultural moment, right? It was the highest grossing movie for a long time.
I think it still might be one of the highest ever, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And, like looking back on it, right, the story itself is pretty simple, but just the execution was so well done and it was so unique that we'd never seen, and like I'd never seen anything like it back then. It was just so unique. And the animation in the world just really brought me into it. And I was so confused why they didn't capitalize on that. The highest grossing movie of all time when it came out. Why did it take, over 10 years, 15 years for them to get the second one going?
Yeah.
And at this point, right, we're 12 years or 15 years past. Not well, whatever. We're 15
Well,
years.
The second
past
one still did insanely well.
It still did, but I think I'm with a lot of people in that it was kind of a letdown. Like the graphics were cool, but I would say it was like 10 to 20% more cool than the one that came out 15 years ago.
Right.
And the story was horrendous.
Well,
Not horrendous, it was bad.
Again, it was the same story. I mean, it literally was just like instead of the forest, now it's the ocean.
But they have like the acting was bad. Like they had that kid that was like the Neytiri or not the Neytiri, whatever.
No, I didn't think. I just felt like it was just the same story. I guess. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Like first it was unobtainium, and now there's this new chemical that like lets you live another 100 years or something. They're taking from the whales. So to me, it was just that they repeated the thing. I think. The only thing I will say about the second one from a cinematic standpoint, I don't think people realize how hard simulating water is in CGI. And that's why it took so long is if you talk to any VFX artists, they'll tell you getting water simulations to look good is incredibly hard. And so I think that's probably why people were expecting like this huge leap. But I don't think they realized like how far they actually came in that front. And also too, like technology only advances so much. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point it's like you reach your capacity. Like how much better is the iPhone probably gonna be? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they'll add the camera is now 24 megapixels instead of 20 or something like that, but it only advances so much after a certain period of time. But yeah, I'm with you. Like the first one was definitely a cultural moment. The second one, yeah, it was cool, but like,
it was big when it came out, and it did insanely well.
Yeah,
but I feel like it got glossed over. Like the story just wasn't as captivating.
No,
the story in the first one is extremely captivating, even if like the premise is simple.
I mean, it was basically Dances with Wolves. In a foreign planet.
But it's a theme that hits really well. Like, what did we watch that samurai movie?
Last Samurai.
Last Samurai. It hits very well for a reason, and adding in all of the visual effects. It was just incredible, and
it was,
like it's, I don't know. And the problem is, like I said, they waited 15 years. Like someone who like was my age then, and like my childhood, like I got captivated by that movie when I was 10 years old. I'm now 20, 25, watching the other movie. And then like that wonder is gone. But if they put a new one out when I was like 14 or 15, they upgraded it, that might have still been in people's zeitgeists. And I'm kind of thinking the same way about Tron, where I loved the first Tron movie, or not the first, whatever. It's a remake.
You're talking the one with
Jeff Bridges.
And then I forget that he kind of disappeared into obscurity. He was in a few things, and kind of what the hell is the guy's name? By the way, I was just looking up. It was the complexity of filming underwater motion capture. Mm-hmm. Apparently, that is why it took so long. I think he also filmed them back to back.
Really?
The one that's coming out, and the last one.
Oh yes, I did hear that.
I respect I'm with you though. It took too long, and you forget, but it won't matter because it'll still do crazy well.
I mean, listen, I respect the effort.
Have you seen the trailer for the new one?
No.
It looks pretty cool.
I'm gonna go see it.
Okay,
like it is like a movie theater movie. I hope they do the. But this again is just also such awesome IP, like Tron. Tron Legacy.
Yeah, this guy Garrett Hedlund.
Yes, such a unique, world building.
Right.
Where it really takes you in, then it takes you deeper in. And obviously, they can't do this anymore, but the Daft Punk soundtrack is so good. That is one of my favorite movie soundtracks. Really made this movie.
Well, Daft Punk, you can't go wrong with
and just the electro feel.
Dance, techno,
But this is such a different, future feel, right? The whole techno world, it's kind of like Matrix-y and kind of Blade Runner-y in that sense, where it's like the futuristic computer techno vision. And just the visuals, I think, like the first Avatar movie hit really hard and just taking you and drawing you into the movie. Now, this one, we'll see. Like I said, I mean, listen, the acting in the first one wasn't spectacular.
I'm going to try
I'm good.
Nordic director, Joachim.
Yeah, Leto is also a producer.
Yeah, Norwegian. Okay. Well, that's not surprising that he's on it. I think I did see the trailer in theaters. If I'm not mistaken.
What did this director do?
It does look pretty cool, though.
It looks sick. Like, that's what I'm saying. I hope they do it justice.
Yeah. Now that I know it's being done by a European director, I actually have a little more faith.
Can you click on this guy? What else does he do?
Young Woman in the Sea,
no.
Maleficent. He did Pirates of Dead Man's, the newest Dead Man Tell No Tales. That's not a good sign. But admittedly, they're doing a 6 Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh, God. Click see more. This is not very promising, Josh.
Oh, shoot. I stand corrected.
Has he done anything good?
Wow, he really hasn't done much, has he? At least from a Hollywood standpoint. I always find it fascinating how directors just like show up one day.
Yeah, how did this guy get this?
Let's look at his Wikipedia here.
Oh, did Disney get the rights to this movie? Did they have the rights already?
Directed Banditas, starring Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek.
People are going to see that movie.
Yeah, get that. That's a big get for, if he's a new director.
Kon-Tiki, nominated for a Golden Globe and Academy Award.
See, this is what I always hate about Wikipedia. But it's just a small complaint, but look how quickly it jumps from attended film school, and then all of a sudden he's directing with Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek. So wait, where's the bridge though? That's what I'm most curious about. How did he get from that to that? You don't just land Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek in 2006. Like that was still, top of their A game in those years. But yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. This is not this is very different movies than what Tron Ares is supposed to be. Who was the original? Can you look up Tron Legacy director?
Are we talking the original?
No.
Okay.
The Tron Legacy is the recent one.
Joseph Kosinski.
Let's see what he did.
Top Gun Maverick, F1.
And this is why he's fantastic. This is why it was fantastic, and this is why it was shot shot so well. Yeah, this guy, I gotta look at this guy. I didn't realize he did all these movies.
Yeah, he knows what the people want.
That's what I'm saying. I know what I want out of Tron. Like I said, the acting was not incredible. The story, whatever, is not the most dramatic.
Oblivion. It's also Cruise.
So, Top Gun 3.
Yikes.
There's already this is a thing,
or is this AI trailer?
It might be. It looks like AI. All right, whatever. We're not gonna speculate.
No.
This guy knows what to give the people.
For sure. Yeah, no, he knows what he's doing.
So I hope they don't ruin this Tron Ares, because I love that movie just like I love the first Avatar, and like I said, second one wasn't. It was cool, but not memorable.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, they needed to do something with the story, and they really didn't. So. But anyways, I think that's a good place to wrap up on.
Yeah.
All right, if you guys made it to the end of this, thank you guys so much for sticking with us. And again, we really want to hear from all of you out there. What did you think of this? If you have any notes for us, we'll try to read them and take them into consideration. And let us know if there's anything else we should touch on going forward, and just any thoughts you have.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. See you next time.